during the Biden administration, the Chinese official said, yeah, we knew we could ignore Biden. We could ignore whatever agreements we had because he was too weak and would never, ever stand up to us or stop us. Now they've been drugged to the table by a strong American president. And for all the talk from China, from Beijing, oh, we're going to outlast the
reaction radar. Boy, have we got something in store for you today. Thought I'd never see this, but here we have a show on CNN. They're actually talking good about President Trump. But without any further ado, let's get into this, because you know there are going to be some haters out there. So let's get into this.
Donald Trump, over the last few days, has touted win after win. He's been doing so many things, and it appears that Congress is sitting at the sideline saying, okay, I guess there's nothing we can do. And that's how the public views Congress right now. What is your response to that, the way that the public is seeing all of this?
That's accurate. That is what the Republican-led Congress is doing, is absolutely nothing. We're legislating on reducing regulations for...
Wow, the Republican-led Congress. Sir, even when you guys were the majority, you still did nothing. You know, stop trying to blame the other party. Like I said, listen, you're going to have good and bad on both sides of the aisle, okay? But just admit when you're doing something wrong, okay?
Walk-in refrigerators. That's the kind of stuff that we vote on right now. And actually, I think the public would like us to have a say in tariff policy. I mean, I don't think that Trump gets a lot of credit for cleaning up his own mess. You know, my 4-year-old gets credit if she cleans up her own mess, but the president, not so much. What are we actually getting here? Donald Trump is weak on China. Is the bottom line. He's weak on China. He's been weak on China for a long time. And look, I've got no quibble with the Chinese people.
But the Democrats were in office for the last 4 years. And Trump is the one that's been soft on China for a long time. Gotcha.
But the Chinese Communist Party? Yeah. Like, I don't like it when they're stealing our ideas and our businesses. I don't like it when they're trying to start a war over Taiwan. I don't like it when they disappear people who disagree with the regime. Although, maybe that's where Trump finds some companionship with Xi Jinping, the same way he has a bromance with Vladimir Putin.
This is unbelievable. This is how you're addressing the President of the United States.
You want to jump in? I see you.
This whole idea that he's weak on China. Did you not read the news about what Secretary Bessent found out in these meetings, that during the Biden administration, the Chinese official said, yeah, we knew we could ignore Biden. We could ignore whatever agreements we had because he was too weak and would never, ever stand up to us or stop us. Now they've been drugged to the table by a strong American president. And for all the talk from China, from Beijing, oh, we're going to outlast the Americans. We're fortified to outlast the Americans. A few days into this, they're in Switzerland, cutting the beginnings of a deal that's going to be good for the United States, admitting some of the things that they have to admit in order to get a more balanced situation with us. This is a total win for the president, and it's a total win for the rock star Scott Bessent, who goes overseas and pulls an amazing rabbit out of a hat. But do not forget, they told him we ignored Biden because he was so weak and we could afford to do it.
You know you're losing when you have to bring Joe Biden into the narrative.
I didn't say it.
So you know you're losing when you have to bring Joe Biden into this. Okay, let's take a step back there, ma'am. So what does that say about you and your party every time somebody asks you something and you're like, well, Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that? What does that say?
The Chinese did. No, they are losing. I agree with you. The Chinese are losing.
The reality
they brought it up.
No, the reality is when you have to make your...
She's saying that Scott Jennings, which doesn't have to use Biden to make his point. Come on, this is Scott Jennings we're talking about here. But the point is, Scott Jennings was actually quoting facts. And maybe that's where the other party doesn't understand what the difference between facts and made-up stories are. You know, he's actually quoting something that they actually said versus you guys. Hey, how's the weather? Trump. Hey, what'd you have for breakfast today? Trump. Everything out of your mouth is Trump, but when you speak or quote a fact, then it's a problem.
They brought it up.
Back to Joe Biden.
It's not me, it's
what
them.
is happening is not working in your favor.
No.
I actually want, because you're the expert on this, but I'll say what I have to say after.
All right. I want to quickly ask you just a question about this, because normally if Donald Trump would have started with, we're going to put a 30% tariff on China, the markets would likely have freaked out.
Cataclysmic.
Correct? But now their response is, oh, this is way better than the 145 and the back and forth, and we're not sure exactly what's going to happen, but it looks like things are moving. What do you make of this?
So let's just start with some numbers about where we are today relative to where we were on Friday. So today we have effective tariff rates in this country. The budget lab at Yale that I ran the numbers of 17% inclusive of this deal. When President Trump took office in January, effective tariff rates were 2.5%. Kevin's right, these are consumption taxes. They're going to be borne by low and middle income people who are going to see prices increase by on average $2,800 price increases for a family as a result of these tariffs that are in place. And 30% tariffs on China are lower than 145%, but they are still extremely, extremely high. And they are high on literally everything that the American people buy. So I think that if this is the framework for how we expect these trade deals to go going forward, I think we're in a place where things aren't actually going that well from the perspective of a trade war that we've launched. Though I want to agree with Scott, I think we actually have to give Secretary Bessent a fair bit of credit because he understood that we were in a position that was fundamentally untenable, and he started the process of trying to retreat. But it's a mistake to say that the administration has gotten anything from that retreat. I mean, a lot of what you said, Kevin, you said rumors and innuendo. I haven't heard anything about IP or anything about access to courts as a result of this deal.
I also remember
When prices were out of control, gas was extremely high, everything was skyrocketing to the roof. During the last administration, nobody had anything to say other than, you're doing a great job, yay, everything is peachy, all fine, honky-dory, right? But now you have someone that's in there that's actually doing something for the United States and for the citizens. What do you come back with now? Oh, well, this is all wrong. This is all wrong. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. This is wrong. The price is here. The price is there. But you didn't say peep the last time when things were actually way out of control. Again, right now, yes, things are going to seem like it's high because remember, it's like a snowball effect, right? You have the little snowball, you shake it up, things go all over the place, but then it settles, right? And that's what's happening right now. Things are being shaken up, right? So it's all over the place. Everything's like, oh my God, what's going on? But you need someone, right, like President Trump with that vision so he can see past that ripple effect and the snowball because he already know what he's going to do. He know what he wants for the United States. Right? So it doesn't matter how many snowballs are falling down because he already have a vision as to what he's going to do. And that's what most people don't understand, especially on the opposite side.
of being at this table and saying we have to stick it to China because they're our greatest national security threat. And I don't see how this deal actually plays into our favor in protecting our country anymore. The bottom line is that the tariffs were rolled out. They should have been rolled out better. This is not the first pause.
So are you against the tariff, or it should have been better? Should we go out there with cupcakes and candles and, do the dance and, hey, how are you? We have a prize and can we? Yeah, come on, seriously, make your mind up. Is it the tariffs are bad? The tariffs are good. Which one is it? Oh, you should have did a better job, more presentation. Seriously? Come on.
The reason why it's pausing is because the headlines were not working in Donald Trump's favor. We have reporting from inside White House staff saying this to reporters at our own network, that he did not like the reporting, was afraid of no food on shelves, and people didn't like just being able to buy $2 if they wanted to buy 10, and so he needed to do something. So.
Well, if you want to go on the White House staff that is relying on this information, is it the same White House staff that told us and the American people that there's nothing wrong with Joe Biden? And now there's a book coming out saying that he did have medical issues? I mean, is that the same White House official staff? Because we can see where that's going.
Call it a win if you want, but the cost of living for Americans is still going to go up.
Don't take my word for it. Don't take Mr. Wonderful's word for it. Take the market's word for it today. They
Exactly.
Know they know we're in a better position.
And let's go back. You want to talk about how house of pricing is up. Okay, when California was in trouble, when North Carolina was in trouble, when Florida was in trouble, when Hawaii was in trouble, what did you guys do? What did the administration do? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna wait. What was that? Oh. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
It only had to do that, and it only rebounded because for the last, so many days since April 2nd, it's been in total instability because of
We're ahead of
Donald
where we
Trump.
were. We're ahead of where we were on April 2nd.
The market is in a worse place today. That chart is very helpful. The market is in a worse place today than it was on Inauguration Day.
Watching sausage being made, because this administration does something none other has. Make it all open, make it all transparent. There's going to be volatility, which, by the way, has ended up being an incredible buying opportunity. Just when you're in the guts and concerned about how bad it's going to get, had you bought the market at the dip, you've had a phenomenal year. The point is, you can't just look at it by the hour. You got to wait for the outcome. Now, Trump is unusual, and look, what I've learned is don't look at the noise. My goodness, you can't deal with Trump's noise. Look at the signal. What's he trying to do? Reset world order on trade. That taxes work in almost every economy on earth, between 7 and 14%, including all the European countries and Canada. And this is a consumption tax that we can't put through here a popular basis at all. It's coming in the form of tariffs, and I think it's going to...
Any jobs come back to American factories. I haven't seen prices improve for American families.
That's because while you guys are sitting here doing absolutely nothing, the president's over in different countries trying to make the deals so he can bring them back. But, you know, we're one of the most greatest country in the face of this earth, right? To where you have the president that was elected to go over to these foreign countries and they're signing all these deals, making these deals for the American people, and all you guys do is sit there like, well, you shouldn't have done that. Well, this doesn't, no, this doesn't go that way. That doesn't go. What did Charles do? Charles like, no, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show him, forget all the deals that he's making over there. I'm going to hold his DOJ people up. We're not going to proceed until we can come to blah, 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 blah. Be quiet, go out, put some policies into place, act on it, and let's go from there. It's like, again, it's tit for tat, little babies with temper tantrum. Oh, well, I'm going to do this because this wrong, but I'm going to... while the real president, is out there making deals, you guys are just sitting here doing absolutely nothing. Like this gentleman said earlier, we're making deals with an empty fridge, and that's probably what you guys should do. Go figure out how they make cardboard boxes. Probably that's a better use of your time. And we're paying you to sit there and do absolutely nothing. And you're complaining and asking, what are people going to do? Oh my God, the prices are going up and this and that. But you don't have to worry about that because you're getting paid to do absolutely nothing.
I think it's going in the opposite direction for the people who Trump says he's supposed to help.
Most folks that are in the dip, when it goes lower, they just lose more money. They don't have the disposable income. And I don't mind watching the sausage being made. I just want to make sure there's sausage at the end and that I can actually afford it.
Well, that concludes this segment. Thank you for joining me, as usual. If you like the content, please consider liking, subscribing, and dropping me a comment. But I do have to end this with a special treat for you guys. So hopefully you enjoy it.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more.